Colorado's high-definition news leader. This is News Channel 13, where the news comes first.
Mother Nature threw a little bit of everything at us this afternoon, from funnel clouds and fluorescent to concerns of flooding hanging over the Waldo Canyon burn scar. The flood warning has expired, and meteorologist Jay Polk is in to tell us what to expect next.
And with all the severe weather over the past week, we're checking in on the flood mitigation projects to see how they're holding up. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Katie Lang.
And I'm Jonathan Petramala, and we want to show you everything Mother Nature threw at us today. Mother Nature dropped hail for the third straight day in our area. This is hail coming down in Divide. Julia J. Sotomayor shared this with us, and you can see from this hand shot, it appears the hail was around marble-sized up in Divide. And then this is Palmer Lake. Palmer Lake also had heavy hailstorms. Thanks to Joe Polonsky for sharing this video. And from the hand measurement, it appears the hail was a little larger there, possibly quarter-sized.
And look at this great video of a high-elevation funnel cloud. Tabitha Oliver took this out of her passenger window as she was driving east on Highway 24. She says she was about 4 miles from Florissant. Another check of weather with meteorologist Jay Polk. Jay, it seems we just can't get out of this. Rain, hail, winds. Bring me some sunshine and warm temps. Come on.
Well, we get some sunshine and warm temperatures, and that destabilizes the atmosphere. Next thing you know, you get big thunder boomers pushing their way from south to north through southern Colorado. That's what we've seen over the past couple of days, and we'll continue to see as we go through the day tomorrow. I'm afraid, Katie, that we're going to put up at least one more day of some rough type weather around the region. This is your Skyscan satellite and radar. First thing you notice is that this nice counterclockwise circulation over southwestern portions of the state. That's an upper level low pressure center. What that's helping to do is pull up lots of warm moist air from the Pacific Ocean, which combined with all that sunshine that we were talking about and those warm temperatures is helping to produce these heavier showers and storms that really popped up, especially in Teller County as we went through the afternoon. We had one thunderstorm pushed right across the Waldo Canyon burn scar that pushed off to the north into Douglas County, and all that activity is beginning to fade away. From atop of Gold Hill with a Peak Internet camera, Woodland Park, still some dark skies off in the distance, and yeah, there's some drops in front of the camera as we have seen some showers and heard plenty of rumbles of thunder. We saw gusty winds and that hail, and of course that funnel cloud that Jonathan and Katie were telling you about a second ago. Temperatures right now are still sitting in the 60s and 70s, 64 in the spring, 76 in Pueblo, 68 in Canyon City. There are some lower to middle 80s in the plains where there has not been as much cloud cover. 85 the current reading in Lamar, 40s and 50s in the mountains, 55 in Salida. As we go through this evening, temperatures are going to drop off, but not a huge amount, not early on at least. We'll see them drop their way into the mid to upper 50s and mid to upper 60s in the Springs and in Pueblo. Then it's lower to middle 50s by midnight. Complete 7-day forecast does have more active weather, but it also has a bit of a breather for us in the Weather Center. We'll show you the details coming up in a few minutes.
Well, a flash flood warning forced Highway 24 to close again today, but it was only for an hour.
The closure happened between Cascade and Cave of the Winds. The warning started at noon. Andy Hauk says he was traveling from Woodland Park to get back home in Colorado Springs. Even though he feels the closure was a hassle, Hauk says he'd rather be safe than sorry.
I guess we don't mind. If we were maybe 5 minutes ahead of this, we might have made it through. But we might have also been swept off the road in a flash flood. So.
Closure is protocol for CDOT. When we're under a flash flood warning, or if the rain gauges get a quarter-inch of rain or more, the highway will shut down.
Those pesky tumbleweeds have piled up under bridges, worrying neighbors in Pueblo West that the tumbleweeds could cause flood problems. It's an issue in Pueblo West at Highway 50 near Swallows Road. Take a look at hundreds of tumbleweeds clogging this creek. A neighbor next to the creek says there hasn't been water in the creek, though, for a long time, but it does flood sometimes during storms. We're going to hear more about his concerns for his neighbors downstream on KRDO News Channel 13 tonight at 10 o'clock. Flood projects in Colorado Springs put up a fight against Mother Nature the past couple of nights.
That they sure have. KRDO News Channel 13's Carla Winders shows us how those projects fared against the severe weather. It's new at 5.
Rain, hail, and floods. The Pikes Peak region was hit hard by storms, and 3 projects were put to the test by Mother Nature. Manish Kochar lives in the Peregrine neighborhood in northwestern Colorado Springs. Floods left his yard a mess.
That looks like pretty much gasoline pouring down the hillside.
But the Coalition for the Upper South Platte and his neighbors put up straw dams to slow down the floodwater from Waldo Canyon. The recent storms put the dams to the test, and all there is left is wet straw and deer walking through it.
It's been going great. We've been trying to check what's going on with any of the bales or the dams being damaged and coming down the hill, but nothing's happened as yet.
Oh, it was pretty scary. I was quite worried about it.
Ben Macias lives next to Camp Creek in Colorado Springs' west side. He remembers the creek turning into a raging river. But the city of Colorado Springs removed more than 4,000 tons of debris and put it in this pit. Workers also put concrete in the ditch on 31st Street. More work needs to be done, but the result after the intense storms is a steady stream flowing in the ditch.
Oh, it's been holding up great. I think they've done a good job down here.
The Cheyenne Creek flood in southwest Colorado Springs destroyed everything in its path last year.
We evacuated 2 different days just because it's hard to sleep when you hear the roar of this small little creek when it's really raging.
After the flood, the city of Colorado Springs, the state of Colorado, and the federal government stepped in to help. They widened the creek and made it deeper. When strong weather hit the area, Judy Arnold felt safer.
All through that bad weather, once it would stop hailing, we'd run over to the edge and look in to see if there were any big logs or branches. I think once we saw a branch, and by the next day it had already gone. So it's behaving beautifully now.
Going into flood season, all 3 people say they feel safer. In Colorado Springs, Carl Winter, KRDO News Channel 13.
The Camp Creek projects cost more than $30 million, while $100,000 is going into Cheyenne Creek.
Lake Pueblo State Park is packed for the Memorial Day weekend. Park rangers are making sure everyone has a fun but safe visit. A ton of boaters were enjoying the beautiful water this afternoon. Nice and smooth. And the grills, of course, were going. And this is the first Memorial Day weekend, though, since recreational pot became legal here in Colorado. But park rangers want to remind everyone it's illegal to smoke weed on public property, including Lake Pueblo State Park.
But typically, we're looking for a number of different indicators. One could be the odor of marijuana, one could be pupil size, it could be speech patterns.
Coming up on KRDO News Channel 13 at 10, people at Lake Pueblo tell us how they're staying safe on and off the lake.
More recreational pot shops in Pueblo County has not translated into more tax revenue for the county, at least so far. Our partners at the Pueblo Chieftain report that $33,000 in tax revenue was collected in April for the county. 6 stores were open in April, and the county actually collected more money in March, but only 5 stores were opened. $41,000 was collected in March. The numbers for May are not yet in. Colorado Springs police are searching for 2 men who robbed a Starbucks this morning. That's in your crime tracker. It happened at about 7:30 at the Starbucks on North Academy near Austin Bluffs Parkway. Investigators say 2 men entered the store with a handgun and demanded money. They left in a newer black Volkswagen Jetta or Passat.
A special dog has finally found a forever home. But taking Caesar is more of a commitment than you might expect. We're going to explain after the break.
Plus, just how dangerous are those high elevation funnel clouds? Meteorologist Jay Polk will explain in your main weather.
And coming up tonight at 10, this wild weather couldn't have happened on a worse weekend. We'll look how businesses in Manatee Springs are handling the flash flood warnings and worries. A German Shepherd from Ohio will now call Canyon City home, but he's much more than just a dog. He's handicapped. But at first glance, you'd never know it.
It's a story of love and one pet finding his forever home. We're at the airport as Doug Maroney met his new friend, Caesar. It's a story you'll only see here on KRDO News Channel 13. Airport hustle and bustle, people scurrying to their destination.
I'm just ready.
But for Doug Maroney, time is passing ever so slowly.
I'm very excited. I've been excited and nervous for the last 4 days.
Finally, his new lifelong partner's plane touches down as the luggage carousel makes its rounds. Maroney impatiently waits for his newfound personal baggage.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Caesar, a handicapped German Shepherd puppy from Canton, Ohio.
Hello. Hey, Caesar.
He was hit by a car 3 months ago. The back half of his body left paralyzed.
Across from a Little Caesar's restaurant, and that's how they named him.
So what's in store for Maroney in Caesar? Believe it or not, lots and lots of fetch. This is video of Caesar from an ABC affiliate in Cleveland, Ohio, while he was living at a shelter.
They were able to put together a cart for him, wheelchair kind of thing.
It was then life took a 21st century twist.
I was one of the first ones to see him actually on Yahoo, and it was an article, and I just opened it up and I said, that's for me.
As Caesar and Maroney begin their lives together, there will certainly be some new challenges.
I never really thought of him or worry about him being disabled.
To Maroney, it's all a minor detail.
He's a wonderful dog. I can tell already. I've fallen in love with him.
I spoke to Doug this afternoon on the phone just to get an update. He also sent me these pictures. He said Caesar has been having a lot of fun exploring his new home. And of course, look at that, playing fetch just like any other dog. Quite a story there.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, it was nice enough for them actually to get outside today.
Yeah, it was nice enough for just long enough down there in Canyon City, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Early. That's what I've been talking about all weekend as we've seen those afternoon showers and thunderstorms. That includes tomorrow as we go through our Memorial Day observances, remembrances, and celebrations. High temperatures are going to be sitting in the middle 70s. There will be some afternoon showers and storms, otherwise partly cloudy skies. Low temperatures will be sitting in the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees, depending on where you're at around the region. Well, the complete details in that forecast coming up next.
As we showed you earlier, there was a funnel cloud in Florissant. It's rare at high elevations, but it does happen. Remember, just last July, a funnel cloud was spotted right over Pikes Peak. Meteorologist Jay Polk joins us now. And Jay, we've been talking about it all afternoon. And higher elevation funnel clouds, not necessarily the most dangerous of funnel clouds.
No, because you don't have that big vertical development of the thunderstorms that you would typically get with one of these type of clouds that develop from these big thunderstorms that roll over the plains, places like Oklahoma and Kansas. Still, though, they're pretty neat to look at, especially that one on Pikes Peak last year, which was seen by about 500,000 people here in Colorado Springs. Look what happened at Pueblo West over the last few hours. You notice that your thunderstorms really bubbled up as the afternoon went on, and dark clouds made their way into that camera as we look from Highway 50 and Industrial Boulevard with the Parkview Medical Center back towards Florence and back towards Canyon City. Now there are some dark clouds off in the distance towards those regions. Temperatures, though, with that sunshine, we're able to rise into the 60s and 70s in most areas, now sitting in the mid-60s in Colorado Springs at 64, 76 in Pueblo. Places that had more sunshine like Lamar are sitting in the middle 80s at 85, 40s and 50s in the mountains, 55 the current temperature in Salida. Skyscan satellite and radar shows us the showers that are falling from those dark clouds that we showed you from our Pueblo West camera back over towards the Continental Divide and towards the wet mountains. We are seeing some of those showers. Some of those have been falling in the wintry form. And you notice a nice counterclockwise circulation. This is your upper level low pressure center. But part of the reason that we did not see a huge number of showers and storms today is that we had that area that was blank. That was what we call dry slot in the weather business. As our low pressure center continues to push very slowly off to the east, it continues to pull off that warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico and from the Pacific Ocean, mainly from the Pacific. The result of that is some thunderstorms that develop, especially during the afternoon hours. The heating of the day helps to make those thunderstorms go, and the jet stream is going to show us that that low pressure center eventually takes off to the east and southeast and fades away altogether over the next couple of days. That leaves us much higher and drier as we go into the middle portion of this coming week. Skycast, showers and storms still possible. Doing a pretty good job starting things off with those showers southwest of Canyon City, west-southwest of Pueblo. Put the maps into motion now. The projected satellite and radar. Notice not a lot as we go into Monday morning. And then by Monday afternoon, those showers and storms pop back up once again. So your outdoor plans on our Memorial Day itself are going to require an umbrella or a duck and dodge kind of deal with those raindrops as those showers and storms develop, especially during the afternoon. You see by 3 o'clock there they are, and by 6 o'clock still sitting over much of the region. The bulk of any rain that we're going to see tomorrow will be west of Interstate 25, but it's a possibility to get some of those showers and storms to make their way to the eastern plains as well. That'll be the case on Tuesday afternoon as that upper level disturbance pushes its way to that southeasterly direction. Heavy totals are possible in the areas indicated by the yellow on your screen. Watch out for some flash flooding concerns, especially as you head south and southwest of Canyon City near the Rural Gorge, which had that big wildfire last year and has a burn scar as well. Spring 7-day forecast. High temperatures are going to rise up to the lower 80s on Wednesday and then drop back a bit as the weather pattern becomes active once again into the mid to upper 70s. Lows are going to be in the upper 40s and lower 50s. Pueblo, your 7-day forecast, high temperatures are going to be sitting in the mid to upper 80s on Wednesday and Thursday. Drop back to the lower to middle 80s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Lows are in the lower to middle 50s. Canyon City, your 7-day forecast. Like everyone else, you'll see a small chance for showers and storms tomorrow. Drop that chance down to 10% because of that dry spot that I was showing you on the water vapor. That, of course, indicates the amount of moisture that's in the atmosphere that water vapor loop does. And when you see that blank, that means that there's not as much moisture to work with. That's what the situation was today. We had fewer showers and storms than we had yesterday and back on Friday. Teller County, your 7-day forecast, best chances for showers and storms are in the mountains, as we talked about. That's why you call for a 40% shot tomorrow. And then as we go through the rest of the week, smaller chances for rain with high temperatures sitting in the lower 60s.
Fantastic. Well, something we haven't seen so far this year in baseball happened today, finally.
Yeah, exactly. Josh Beckett seemed to be on the downslope of his career, but he had a gem today against Philadelphia. We'll show you what he did next in sports.
Now, Josh Williamson with Southern Colorado's award-winning sports.
Good evening. Well, we'll get to the Rockies in just a minute, but first, Major League Baseball had yet to see a no-hitter this year. That all changed earlier today as the Phillies hosted the Dodgers at Citizens Bank Park. And the Dodgers' Josh Beckett was zoned in 128 pitches with 2 outs. Beckett would blow a fastball right down Broadway. Chase Utley, have a seat. It's the first no-hitter in Beckett's career. He's won a World Series MVP, and now he can add a no-no.
I was just waiting for them to get a hit, to be completely honest with you. You know, it's one of those things. I don't think you're thinking about it the whole time, but yeah, I don't know why that unwritten rule's there about not talking about it and stuff like that. I mean, I was joking about it pretty much from the 4th inning on. So, but like I said, I was kind of waiting for them to get a hit.
All right, the Rockies had a chance to take the series from the Braves this afternoon before heading to the same team that was just no hit by Mr. Beckett, the Phillies. First things first, though, as we take you out to Atlanta, and the Bravos would get on the board first. Evan Gattis, a home run to center for the Braves, 1-0 lead, just out of the reach of Blackmon. And then he would add another home run later on in the 4th as well. The Rockies trail this one 5-0. Well, it was a beautiful day for the Indianapolis 500. Ed Carpenter had the pole, and Kurt Busch was looking to become just the 4th driver to attempt 2 races in one day. The Indy 500 and then fly to Charlotte for tonight's Coca-Cola 600. Tony Stewart, the only driver to complete both races in the same day. Let's take you out to the 98th running of this historic event and fast forward to the final laps. A horrible crash with just 10 laps remaining. Townsend Bell crashes into the wall. That brings out a red flag. He would be okay. And then the exciting finish, exchanging leads in the final laps. Ryan Hunter-Reay edges out Elio Castroneves in the second closest race in 500 history. Busch finished 6th. For Hunter-Reay, well, it was his first win at the Indy 500. Congratulations to him. Yeah. Anytime you can win the Indy 500, any race like that you can win, especially your first one. Quite a feat, as you mentioned.
And keeping concentration for 2 races, that's going to be impressive.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how Busch finishes tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, how is a Memorial Day tradition in Colorado Springs handling this wild weather? After the break, we find out at Territory Days.
A new tradition is changing the face of the Colorado Springs culinary scene. Every Monday night, Chef Brother Luck hosts a knife fight in his restaurant. Yeah, it's not what it sounds like. It's a culinary competition. Tonight on KRDO News Channel 13 at 10, the secret ingredients, the battle, and the winner. See how this showdown is keeping chefs on their toes. Plus, it was a scary start to Memorial Day weekend with heavy rain and minor flooding in Manitou Springs.
Downpour also seemed to cause a slow turnout for Territory Days in Old Colorado City. Some told us the rain plus the threatening forecast delayed their traditional visit. That is until today. Despite the clouds, Colorado Avenue was packed on its second day. We spoke with the festival's mayor of Old Colorado City, who told us he has high hopes for this year's turnout.
Yesterday, I think, was a little off because of the threat of weather. We had the flooding the night before and the threat of weather. But today, before 10 o'clock, the avenue was buzzing and everything is picking up, and it will be a great time.
I believe he moonlights for a Monopoly game. Up to 150,000 people are expected to enjoy this event this weekend. The event lasts through tomorrow night on Colorado Avenue. It's lasts until 7 o'clock tomorrow night. It's held between 23rd all the way up to 27th Street.
That's great right there.
A lot of great costumes.
They're lassoing some showers and storms on that Skyscan satellite radar. Those are pretty cool costumes, actually. A little warm, though, for anything that's really kind of long or a suit, whatever. Skyscan satellite radar shows what we're talking about, all the shower activity. Yes, there is some snow mixed in. That's the purple and blue you see on your screen. Yep, still snow. Westcliff, Wet Mountain Valley, there's lots of clouds off in the distance. Right now, temperatures are sitting in the 60s and 70s. That's why I was saying it was too warm for all those costumes from the 1870s. 64 at the Springs, 76 at Pueblo, 85 in Lamar, 42 the current temperature in Leadville. Eating pleasure for southern Colorado, temperatures are going to drop their way to the lower to middle 50s by midnight. And by that point, all the showers and storms that are currently rumbling through the region are going to be gone. There are fewer today than they were yesterday. There were fewer yesterday than there were on Friday. So the downward trend for the showers and storms continues.
Yeah, what a bizarre day, though. You had the hail, the high elevation funnel cloud, some sunshine, snow.
Above 12,000 feet.
That's right.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's a mix.
Yeah, busy show, and we have a busier show at 10. Hope to see you then.